Yeah, so my name is Barber. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and went to school in Atlanta, Georgia, to the Atlanta College of Art, which is now SCAD. SCAD bought them out, I know. But so did that for painting and video. Then I went to grad school at the University of Iowa, and I studied performance art. And the whole deal with that was that I saw my shortcomings as a painter, and it was my introvert nature tendencies. And so I figured that in order for me to really get out there, I need to push myself to start speaking more. And so I went to grad school for performance art, conceptual art, but based performance concentration. And then from there, I went back to Detroit, but got into a residency at the Union for Contemporary Art. The curator there at the Union for Contemporary Art came and did a studio visit at the University of Iowa, and strongly suggested that I apply, and I did, and I got accepted, and I've been in Omaha kind of ever since. So that was 2018, and then after that one, I got a residency at Fontanelle Forest for like 8 months, and then that was 2019, and that was 2020, and so now I'm here making it work.
A bit about how you approach portraiture within that piece.
Yeah, for sure. I have to give you the little bit of back information about it.
Sure. Yeah.
So I started off as a figurative painter, painting representatively. But I saw that people were bringing their own baggage to the figure. So a black body carried a certain narrative, a white body carried another different narrative. And then it wasn't just them, it was myself too. And after seeing them, I was like, wow, I do the same thing. And the example that I like to give is me and the Mona Lisa. So like when I look at the Mona Lisa, I first see a white woman, and then I start asking, maybe there's this and that's that. But there's that barrier that's based off genetic features. I didn't want, and I also kind of don't want people to do that in general. So I figured, well, let me not contribute to this practice. I since created a world with different colors mean things. I do different ways I have different like visual vocabularies or vernacular to personify the figure. And so I created this world for 10 years or so. And so now where I'm at in this practice is that I want to see if this world that I created actually applies to real people. And so that's where Victoria comes in at. It's based off a real person. So the found materials, the different colors, all that is me responding to this person's personality, disposition, whatever. This particular painting though, I wanted to respond to one of my favorite painters, and I'm gonna butcher his last name on camera, but I think it's William Bouguereau. Yeah, so, but this piece, the piece that I was responding to is called Return of Spring. And that's a painting that they have here at the Joslin Museum of Art.
Okay.
And so I love going to the museums. Every city I go to the museum. And so when I saw the hand of this painting, I knew it was my favorite painter. And so I get there and it is him, and I'm just staring at this painting. And so I wanted to, imitate or replicate his composition. So this composition is based off that painting. The figures at the bottom are the little cherubs or whatever, and the flying angel, and this dark, character-like image right in the middle. So that's how I composed this painting, and yeah.
So it's got a really. Can you just, I don't know, comment more about how you explore representation and the and its relationship with the viewer? Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. So one of the things I constantly write notes on the wall when I'm painting, and one that I remember is that art is looking. And so, and I felt like how I can contribute to society is to hone in on that and help people see what they're actually looking at, or question what they're actually looking at, or create that pause. Everything is so fast, these days, and we already come with our own assumptions and our own baggage and this what Twitter says and whatever. So we don't have our own thoughts. And so what I like about this approach to painting is that it slows the viewer down, one, and then two, it allows the viewer to personify the figure. Now, that being said, I know that I'm not like a famous artist, so when they see the circle and whatever, they may not know what that is. But once my characters and once my vernacular takes off, people will know, okay, that circle head, okay, that's the figure, okay, and then they can start creating their own composition or creating their own narrative. And I like that part. It keeps the figures fluid. And I think that's very relative to today about people and their gender preference and things of that nature. And it also makes them question whether or not this pink means masculine or this blue means, feminine or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's just a way to get us to think about our projections. And I think that's where a lot of problems grew from, local and community wise, is that we project something on somebody just by the way they're walking, their demeanor, or by what they're wearing. If we can stop that, well, I say that, so it's like, and this may be too much for the camera, but I think stereotypes are wrong, but I think prejudice is, to a certain extent, is okay, and it's, because stereotypes are misinformed truth. It's a lie based off of truth. Prejudice, it could be something where it's something that your brain noted. If I get attacked by a person wearing a cowboy hat, then I'm going to be afraid of people. I'm going to have this prejudice thing against, it's just like a self preservation type thing. It's not based off any truth. It's based off personal experience. And so that's, so I forgot where I was going with that. Maybe they can piece that together. Oh yeah. So just slowing down, right? So the piece is about when they see that, oh, it's Victoria or it's Catherine or whatever, then they can start, okay, well, what about this Catherine person? And do I relate to this Catherine person, or do I relate to this Victoria? Those are questions they're gonna ask at step one, versus seeing a picture of a black person or a white woman or whatever. Right. They're gonna try to see themselves, because everybody wants to see themselves, and so I'm giving them a chance to see themselves in this person, and I think that's what I love most about this approach.
How you can reclaim a narrative within your work.
Yeah, for sure. It's, I've heard of this proverb since, middle school or whatever, but it was like, it's something about, if you want to know the tale of the lion, ask the lion, or something in that nature. And so, yeah, okay. So that gave me the, I guess, confidence to go in that direction. But after going in that direction, I saw that there was a lot of, Black artists doing just that in a very awesome and in an important way. You got, for me, the top of that list is Carrie James Marshall. And you got Kara Walker doing so, and Kende Wiley. But at the top is Carrie. I think Carrie is doing it the way I would. And Sanford Biggert is, so I thought, okay, if they're having a conversation about allowing their work to speak for them as Black American artists, then what is the next step? What if we, because then you're gonna get you know, the Chinese American and the, you know, the Mexican American looking at the Black American painting, like, well, where am I at? And so I figured, you know, about that reclamation, you know, let me start having this conversation for all of us. And so let art start like literally speaking to everybody, because everybody's going to feel shown at one point or another at different parts of art history. And so this is my way of kind of like talking to all the little boys and girls in the future in that multi-diverse cultural class. When they all go to the museum, they can all look at the same painting, be like, no, that's me because my favorite color is purple, or that's me because I like shiny stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Versus trying to see themselves in a Black little girl, or try to see themselves in a Chinese little girl or little boy. You know what I mean? Or
this exhibition is specific to the Mountain Plains region, and we talk a little bit about some of the stereotypes or ideas as far as like how are Mountain Plains artists represented? What does it mean to be an artist that's working in this particular region? Did you have any thoughts? I mean, does it mean anything to you? Do you see yourself as a Mountain Plains artist, or?
That has been another focus since being in Atlanta, to get back to the Midwest and create from that space. Because I feel like there's a lot of conversation happening in New York and the, on the coast, but there's a lot going on in the Midwest too.
Right.
And I feel like it's twofold. One, we have our own personality, and I know that once the coast get dried up, the interest is gonna go, okay, where else can we go? And so when that time comes, and we can help bring that time, you know, a lot, you know, closer, a lot faster, we should be ready with our own persona. They shouldn't, a collector shouldn't go from New York to the Midwest and see the exact same thing. They shouldn't do that. They should go to the Midwest and see something totally different. And that's just me, you know, my mom teaching me that who you are is special. Yeah. And it's okay to be who you are, and flaunt that. And if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. And I think that's like we was talking earlier. That's the Midwest way. It's like, dude, this is what we do here. Like, if you don't want to go somewhere else,
we're gonna do what we do.
And then you got the bonus. And so another thing why I felt even more confident about being based in the Midwest was that you have the internet now. You know, you don't need to be in New York. And now, of course, being on the coast, things happen fast. You're right there. You get the job. You get the sale. Got it. But as far as like promoting yourself and letting the world know who you are, like you can do it online, virtual. So
yeah. So now that we're all contained in our homes or studios or wherever, what are you working on now within this current COVID-19 environment?
What I did was I was like, let me put on it's called COVID-free artist release sale. And so it is a show that's happening tonight. I asked 7 other artists, and I installed their work into a gallery space, and I'm gonna do a live stream. I'm gonna Zoom it to all the participants. We have this thing called Business First Friday. Okay. And so everybody come out and walk to different galleries. And so that's obviously not an option. And so I'm asking all those people to Zoom in, and so they can see the work and buy the work. Luke, go sit down. Stop. And so everything's on sale for $200 or less. Ooh, and so that's what, I'm hoping people say, yeah, great. You know, normally we can't get this stuff for so inexpensively, but it's also so it's twofold. It's one, to create community in this time, to keep things going in a healthy way, but also 2, it is to help studio artists like myself find relief, because I have lost a lot of jobs. Right. And when it comes to studio artists, it's a handshake agreement. There's no real paper trail. Yeah. And so when people are like, well, file for unemployment and file for this and file for that, how am I going to prove that I could have made several $1,000? You
Right.
know,
Right.
there's no way to do that. And so that's where this show comes into play, is to say, hey, small businesses can get a loan. They can write it off. They can project how much they would have made, but studio artists cannot.
Right.
So, you know, can you help us out type of thing, you
Yeah.
know?
Right.
So I've specifically, as working studio artist, to be a part of the show, $200 or less. People get to see art. People get to support us. We add more content. We add content to the city, and yeah. So that's tonight.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm working on.